Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for the Masterclass Marathon, the Saturday segment. We're here to share information with you, things that you know you need to know, and some things that you didn't even know that you actually needed to know. So I'm always excited to be here. We're going to wait until our other speakers get on, and we are going to chat with you guys about some things in business. Today's segment is actually dedicated to the kids, so I don't know if you guys did decide to bring your children today, but I hope that you did. We wanted to be able to just give a little something specifically to the children. Hey, A. Marie. Good afternoon. So yeah, our children are the future, of course, and when we think about who they are and what they will become, there's something that changes at some point in time for the children. There's always going to be something that actually makes them decide to go this way, that way, to do certain things. And I just really remember when I was younger that I was exposed to certain things that helped me to see that the environment that I actually lived in was not necessarily where I wanted to stay. Hi, Janice. Good afternoon. So yeah, I just remember those moments in time and the things that allowed me to be in a space where I just understood that where I was not where I was supposed to stay. So let me know if anyone brought your children today. Let me know if you brought your children today. And give me 1 second because I feel like I might have touched my camera. Let me see. So what I'm going to do is turn my screen for you guys. Okay. Yeah, I felt like it was a little cloudy. So guys, when you are actually going live, like I cleaned my camera off right before I put it on the stand. But sometimes when you put it up there and you touch it, then all of a sudden you end up clouding up your camera. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. My child is listening in another room. Yes, that way it won't be any feedback. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So let me bring Jack on up here. Started. So super duper excited. So if your children are here, make sure that they understand that this message is for them, and we're here just to share our businesses with those of you who are here and ready to listen as well. I know Orlando wanted to speak today as well. So when Orlando comes in the room, or then Orlando can actually speak once he gets in here. All right. Jack, I don't know what do you wish to go now? You
For
want to
sure.
go?
I can get already started, right?
Okay,
So
awesome. All right, well, let them know where we are, and I'll start inviting some folks in here.
yeah, let me do the same. Um, what's up, everyone? What's up, everybody? So welcome to the Masterclass Marathon. And again, if you guys can just go ahead and send this out to like 10 people. Listen, there's going to be a lot of knowledge, and please today send this out to people who you know who have children. Listen. What we're doing, it's typically a very powerful thing. We give a lot of knowledge, we share a lot of things, we teach you a lot of lessons, but today we really want to teach things to the kids, because there's not too many spaces that they can go to where they can have conversations like this, find out information like this. So let's go, let's get started. um, I am Jack the God. I do own a design agency, and I have a clothing brand called My Hustle Has Purpose. And that's exactly why today I'm going to talk about believing in your hustle. And I thought it would be perfect with the children listening in. And if you can also remember, you can share this live even after we have this live to kids, to children. A lot of you guys have children that are on Instagram and whatnot. Go ahead and send them the link. You never know that it can really help change the trajectory of their life, and they're really going to be, they're going through a position that we used to be in, where we are all working towards breaking generational curses, and they're going to have some generational curses that they have to break themselves. We can't do all the generational curses. There's a trickle that goes down, right? And it all starts with being young. I know for me, how I grew up, it was definitely, I went through some hard times. I was the first high school graduate in my family. I was the first college graduate in my family, right? I broke a lot of generational curses, and I continue to do so. And a lot of that happened because I believed in myself at a very young age, right? It's very important that we instill this into the children. Listen, belief happens so young, and your hustle at young age is a little bit different. So while some of us here might be entrepreneurs, business owners, right? When you're a kid, sometimes your hustle might be just getting that good grade in school. It might be athletics, right? Showing up and practicing after practice. I remember there was a point where I would go practice with my team, the girls team. This was in middle school. Then I would go practice with the boys team right afterwards, and then I would do 2 hours with the coach after that. So I was doing 3 practices a day because at that moment in time, I thought that athletics would be my getaway because if you grow up in a predominantly colored community, we learn from very young ages that a lot of times we think that sports are going to be our ticket out. So we really we really hone in on sports. We become athletes young, and we just understand that we can go ahead and get a college scholarship because our parents aren't going to be able to afford to do that for us. So we really go ahead and spend a lot of our years playing sports and trying to go ahead and get better at those skills. But I'm here also to tell you that that's not your only way out. In fact, depending on even your gender or even depending on your situation, sports might not even be your best way out. And it took me, and I grinded years. It took me until senior year when I looked it up and I Googled how much does a WNBA player make, and I was like, whoa, that just doesn't make sense. They make about 30. They enter the WNBA with like a $35,000 contract. I wish I would. You know, sports are not your only way out. In fact, statistically, it's actually going to be harder to be a professional athlete than if you were to be a business owner. And I'm here to let you know that if you're a young kid, you literally can do anything you want to do and start exploring while you're young. Believe in yourself, believe in every little hustle that you go ahead and put your mind to, and go ahead and start believing in yourself young and explore different things. Explore what you like. Figure out maybe a little bit of what you might know, and you never know, it might follow you. So again, I spent a lot of my years playing ball, thinking that sports was going to be my way out. And what happened was I learned design in high school, and that ended up being my way out, but I wouldn't realize it until probably like 3 to 4 years after I graduated high school, that that's what I would take and go ahead and continue to further my life with. And there's something very powerful right now going on with kids, right? Because we have this thing called social media. We have things like this masterclass marathon, where now kids can really like see that they have more opportunities, they have things to grow. They can start YouTube channels, they can start businesses, clothing brands, at young ages, which gives them more time and more opportunity to grow, and they can go ahead and become more successful than we have ever been able to be, especially at a young age. I want everyone here to know that we really need to pour in these kids. We need to teach them the things that we didn't know. We need to show them that there's more opportunity than what we really understood when we were younger. Again, sports isn't the only way out, you know. A lot of times too, like we have these young men where they're getting put into football, and those are actually things that are going to go ahead and injure them along the way. And we need to have open and honest conversations about stuff like this, because we can start putting them on better paths. We can put them on paths that are really, really, really going to go ahead and increase their future, give them the success that we desire for them to have, allow them to, go ahead and be mentors and be leaders in the where they are, and it's always going to start young. The younger we are, they say the better, because then we have more time to grow, more things to learn, and then you go ahead and get your 10,000 hours in early, right? So all these things are important. So believing in ourselves, right? So believing in your hustle, but it does take us as adults, us as parents, aunts, uncles, to go ahead and instill that into the kids around you. Go ahead and teach them a new skill. If you're a business owner, have your kid working beside you, or at least have them listening into what you're doing. My child, she goes ahead and she'll sit next to me while I'm in business meetings. Even if she's just watching TV, because guess what? She's catching little nuggets here and there. She's paying attention to the conversations that I'm having, and now her conversations look different and her beliefs look different, because she tells me I'm going to be a boss when I grow up. I remember when I had a job last year and I was transitioning out, and she was like, well, why can't you just not work today? And she was like, oh no, I'm not working for somebody else when I grow up. And I love that. And now she got to see me transition into that. So now she understands that, oh wow, this is a real tangible thing. So, some people become business owners and they leave their kids out of it. Don't do that. Show them all opportunities. Show them everything that you're doing, because you never know how it's going to change their lives and how it's going to affect them. It's not just school. School, thinking that school too is an old thought process. We really got to change it up. So yeah, they got to do their part in school, but it's going to be oftentimes what you're doing, because practicing what you preach and they're going to follow what you're doing. So it's going to be oftentimes what you're doing that really, really impacts their lives more than you know. So include them, involve them, teach them different things, teach them different skills. My daughter started getting on a computer at 5. I showed her, the first time I showed her Photoshop was when she was 5, and she knows these things. She knows these terms. She'll come on she'll take my phone and pretend like she's going live. Hey, live stream today. This is me and Jackie, and we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do this. Listen, that's perfect, because I didn't have this skill until a couple of months ago, where now I'm confident enough to go ahead and show up on live, where I'm confident enough to go ahead and show up. And us showing up is actually showing our kids that they can show up, showing these young people that they can show up too, and it's making it easier for them. So I don't know where I am on the time, but I just, I really wanted this message to understand that, like, everything about your hustle, believing in your hustle has purpose. I speak that all over everyone every time I come on here, right? And if you follow me on my page, I'm always speaking that over you. But remember that it's cool for us to take this in for ourselves, but it's even better if we go ahead and impact the people younger than us, and we go ahead and we instill these beliefs in them, because they're the next generation. They're going to be the people that we're doing business with in the future. They're going to be the people in your family that are going to go ahead and maybe be able to keep your businesses running, maybe go ahead and entering your businesses and working with you and for you, and doing these collaborations with, and they're going to have a mind, and they're going to be learning things that are going to need help with in the future. So let's go ahead and uplift our kids. Let's go ahead and teach them the right skills, and keep an open mind, because one day they'll be the ones to be able to help you out too. So yeah, listen, I'm Jack the God. I do own a design agency, and I have a clothing brand again called My Hustle Has Purpose. I have a new drop coming soon. And yeah, I mean, that's all. If you guys have any questions regarding design, content creation, I know I didn't really talk about that today, but today that's not what it was about. Today it's about the kids. So go ahead, if you're please have your kids sit in and listening to this, or share this with your kids, and don't let this be the last time. In fact, they should be listening in most times, because even when we're not necessarily just speaking to them, they're going to learn the term, just like I'm saying. They're going to learn the knowledge, and they're going to pick up a gem, and they might say, hey, I want to do what Coach Tamika's doing. Dang, she teaches entrepreneurs. Like, that's so cool. I don't want to be the business owner. I want to be the teacher. Like, but your kid's not going to know to do that until they see it. So they don't know what they don't know, just like you don't know what you don't know. Let them learn more than you knew. So that's all I'm here to say. So
thank you so much, Jack the God. Thank you so much. So I'm going to piggyback off of some of the things that you said. Today, you guys are watching the Masterclass Marathon, and I wanted to remember what you just said. Oh my gosh, you said, what was the last thing you remember you said?
I said that, just having them on these calls, like, not just today when we're speaking into them, but having them, listen to these things all the time, because you never know what kind of nuggets they're going to pick up. I mentioned that, and I mentioned just, not letting them know that there's more than athletics in life. There's more than, the school thing. And those were some of the main key points I think I mentioned, because I know for me and all my peers, those were big things that affected us growing up.
Okay. All right. So, all right, thank you. So once again, you guys are watching the Masterclass Marathon. We're here on Saturdays and on Sundays. Saturdays at 12, Sundays at 7 p.m. Today, we are actually here talking to the kids. So we dedicated this segment to the kids. So go grab a kid, a child, a niece, a nephew, a little cousin, anybody, because they need to hear these things that we're talking about. And also, I'm going to open up today to, if you are watching and you'd like to share your story because you think the business that you run and the things that you know, there is a child out there that actually needs to hear something that you have to say. So we're going to shift how we actually roll today. So you can request to be in a live, and we'll bring you on up so that you can share your story and a little bit about your business. So hi, Wheelan. So I'm Coach Tamika James. I'm a life and business coach. I got to this point in my life by being who I've always been. And I kind of want to share my talk today from that perspective, because who I am right now, it is as a result of where I was born, the parents that I had, the community that I lived in, the experiences that I had have all made me who I am today. So what I really want to share is my main thing that I do is I help people to monetize their knowledge. That's what I do. I help you to take what you know and turn it into a product, into something that you can actually be able to make money from. So why do I absolutely love who I am today, and how does it relate to who I was when I was younger? So when I was in, I don't know, somewhere around the 6th grade or so, in school, a teacher recognized how I was a person that was able to listen to people and pay attention to what they said. And I was always like a problem solver. So it's funny that at this moment in time, I'm thinking back to when I was a young girl, someone recognized that I had this particular talent, right? So they asked me to be on a debate team. And it's funny that I'm beginning to think about it now by being here on this Masterclass Marathon, sharing with the children. I want you to know that there's usually something in you that if you, oh, that was your timer. There's usually something in you that someone may recognize, and you can use that, and you never know if that thing will be the thing that will carry through the rest of your life. So I was always able to, I learned the skill of debating, and now it also helps me in life right now, being in business, to be able to negotiate, to be able to listen, to let someone else, you know, say what they're saying, and then understand what I need to say in rebuttal to what they're saying. It's a thing that you use in business. And then I began to, as I, you know, carried on in life, began to read books that began to help me to understand more about this skill, which is listening and using it, and then, you know, being able to get the things that you want in life and in business. Now, what I really want to share about, yes, all kids should go through debate. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. Now, when I was also on the debate team, that also allowed us to travel. So we were able to go to different schools, different cities, and different states, and different things like that. So my travel began back then. I also had teachers who were able to say to me, you know, there's more in you. And just, so if you are an adult and there's a child in front of you and you can say something to them, please say something to that child, because they need to hear it, because it begins to build who they literally are, and it helps them to move forward in life. So I want to share a little bit more about the fact that I was different when I was younger. So my parents put me in Catholic school. And for some time, because I'm born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. And I absolutely was like, why do I have to go to Catholic school when all the other kids around me are walking to school around the corner? And I have to get on 2 buses, or my dad, if he didn't go to work, you know, and if he didn't take the car and left my mom the car, then she would drive us to school. But if we didn't take the car, we had to take 2 buses to get to school. And I kept trying to understand, why are y'all making us do this? Like, why? But then as I got older, I began to really understand. And I'm almost like, kind of want to be in tears a little bit, because I thank my parents for, they brought me up in Newark, New Jersey, in a place where it was just a lot going on around us. But my mom decided to like try to save us by putting us in another environment. And she actually did, because when she did that, she allowed me to be who I was in an environment that wasn't, I don't know what word to use, but it wasn't so in the school impacted by the community. Once we got in the Catholic school, it was like this little safe haven. Nobody couldn't say curse words. You had to be in a line. You had to be on time. You had to wear your little skirt. You had to wear the socks. You had to wear the right shoes. You wore the wrong shoes. You got sent home. I mean, all sorts of things. So fast forward, when I decided to have children, the one thing I decided to do was, I said, I'm out of here. I left Newark and I moved to North Carolina. So when I moved to North Carolina, that was where I decided to start my family, because I said, there's no way I'm starting a family here in this environment. So then my grandmother, my mother-in-law at the time, had cancer for the 2nd time. So we're like, you had cancer 2 times, like we need to just come back. So we moved back to Jersey, and then I ended up having my 2nd child. So when my children began to grow up, I said, I'm going to follow what my parents did. And I put my children in Catholic school. Well, then my son and my daughter was now in Catholic high school, and my son is now in Catholic elementary, and he begged me to take him out. So like I begged my parents, and at some point my parents did take me out. So when they took me out, I felt like it was okay, because I made it through. I begged them when I got like past the 6th grade. I said, please take me out of here. And because I was already conditioned as a girl, I was kind of okay. But I do remember going in school, and I remember I told the story last week on live. I had a friend that was in school with me, and by the time we got to like the 7th grade, we were like hanging out and just doing little things, and my friend offered me drugs. So when my friend offered me drugs, I said, no, I don't want it. Now, the environment I grew up in, I really was supposed to say yes, because they kept telling us say no to drugs when we were in school, but people were doing drugs and it was kind of like a normal type thing. But I was like, no, I don't want it. So fast forward about, I don't know, maybe almost 10 years late, 7, 8, 10 years later, I see the friend that I had. I'm at the supermarket. I pull my car up. My friend who used to be my friend, who had the same name as me, Tamika, walked up to me and asked me for a quarter. Y'all, she didn't even ask me for $1. She asked me for a quarter. So I want to say that, I wanted to tell that story to the children to let you see the journey that I've been on, the things that my parents instilled in me. They put me in one place and I didn't like it. I was trying to understand, why do I have to go to this Catholic school? But I thank my parents. So anyway, in my story, fast forward, I want to share with you that I got into an entrepreneurship program when I was about 14 years old. There was this nonprofit who came to the community and said, we want to help the kids. They gathered a bunch of us up and they said, we're going to take you down to the city and help you to get your sales tax and use ID number. So that allowed me to be able to take that and go to New York, which was close to me, and go get wholesale items and just sell stuff. So I began to sell t-shirts and belts, and I used to go buy sunglasses, and then I went the extra mile and I got little blings of gems and put them on and blinged out glasses, and I sold them. I sold everything legal because it was instilled in me that this is an environment with a lot of illegal activity, but all at the same time, my parents did what they could to put me in Catholic school. And now here I am as a young teenager. I got to stay on the right path. So I was strong enough to do so. Some of you are not, because I want to tell you now another part of my story, which is I'm an entrepreneur in business. I've only worked for 2 people throughout my entire life, but now I have my second child. That was another part of the story that I was at. My second child is a boy. So over time, my son is in Catholic school. He begs me to take him out. I take him out and I put him in the public school. Now, by now, I'm back in New Jersey, but I don't live in the hood. I live in a nice neighborhood. So I make the choice to put him in the public school because it's a good public school in a good neighborhood. Well, fast forward, guys, things don't go so well because there's a lot of bad activity in the school. And then I'm just not going to tell you guys the whole story because it's a little bit much to be telling on live, but there were a lot of things that occurred with my child. And now fast forward, my son is incarcerated. And most people won't know that because as a life and business coach, as a leader in a community, as a person that is here building my business, I choose not to just tell that story every day. That's not something I want to wake up and tell everybody where my child is, especially based upon who I am. And, you know, and it can carry some level of embarrassment to some degree because it was like, what the heck happened? But what I ended up having to do as a parent is I had to understand. My parents did what they could. I did all that I could. I did everything I could. My children were in aftercare programs. They didn't hang out in the streets. My children were in all types of sports. Even as a busy parent, I would run and I would go, do all of this work. I traveled a lot. I had my own business from the time my children started growing up. So they never saw me with a job. And once again, I only had 2 jobs in my whole life and they lasted for a short amount of time. So all my children saw was me being an entrepreneur. But all at the same time, there are things that sometimes as parents, there's almost nothing you can do because we've done our work and instilling what we could in them. But then when the streets get a hold of them, it's like, it's really tough. So I want to say to the parents, if you're doing all that you can, please just continue to do what you can and stay on top of your children and all the things. But sometimes there's not much more that you can do. Wow, my son is not here. Wow. And who knows, that could have been my son's life. And to some degree, I'm kind of thanking God that he is where he is because we never know if all of what was occurring would have been in a different situation, you know, had he not been incarcerated. So why do I tell you this story? I want the children to hear from the perspective of a parent. We are doing our absolute best for you, little people. We are doing our best for you. We get up and we do the thing that we know how to do best. We go hard, especially those of us who are here. We're entrepreneurs. We wake up and we decide what we need to do for our business. We make a choice on what kind of business we're going to run. And then we literally just do what we can. We're feeding you. We're clothing you. We're taking you where you got to go. We're making sure that you understand when it's time for you to get your license, for you to be able to learn how to drive, for you to be able to just be a self-sufficient individual. So we want you to know that when we're going hard, just watch us and just follow our lead, because we're not going to do anything that is going to take you away from being the amazing person that you need to be. When you see your mother and father, you know, working extra hard, children, see how you can jump in and see what you can help with. Now, I do want to share with you guys in my story, my son started cutting hair. So I was a licensed cosmetologist, and this little boy started cutting hair, bringing people to the house, and he started working. But there was another path and things that occurred in his life, but he did take that path. So if you get a skill, children, and there's something you can do, carry it. Stay away from the wrong people. Tell them that you are not set to be on that path. Don't do no drugs, because it doesn't do anything but get worse. If you can make money from anything, I promise you, if you take the time to decide on something and you make that money, you're going to feel real proud that you made a few dollars. And then I want you to learn how you can take that skill to the next level. So where am I in my journey right now? I'm a life and business coach. I was a cosmetologist. I did all of that for years. But I am now set to help people to understand how to monetize their knowledge. Now, remember the beginning of my story. I was telling you that I learned how to sell different things. And so it's been in me to know how to sell and to know how to take whatever I know and just package that up and do something with it. So that is how I know that I'm in a space where I'm supposed to be at this current point in time, because it's always been in me. So if you recognize something about yourself, I promise you there's one little thing about you that you can take and you can expand upon that and just be even more. So look at yourself. Look deeply at yourself and say, well, what do I do really well right now? Some of you are helping people. Some of you are great listeners. Some of you, you just do all sorts of things. Those things are really, really powerful for you to use along your journey, okay? So that was what I wanted to share. So I did want to share that part about me being different, for real. If you're different right now, don't worry about it, because you know what? A lot of the people that make a lot of money, they're very different. I needed a child to hear that. That's my 13 minutes. I need a child to hear that. You know why? Because I was the one that was different. And then as I grew up, and no shade to nobody I grew up around, if you end up watching this and, you know, okay. But when I look back on most of the people who I grew up around, a lot of people aren't doing so well. They're not doing so well. And they looked at me like I was different. I was the one that was willing to do all of my homework. I was the one that was willing to see what other path that I could take. I was the one that was like, well, what else could I do? You know, what else can I do? I sold candy when I was young as well. And here was something that happened to me, and I gotta share this. And let me see who else wants to come on up. Somebody else wanted to come on in. I'll bring you guys. Who is it that is? My Instagram is okay. I'm trying to see who this is. It's not showing me who wants to speak. I can't tell who it is. Can you put in the chat who it is that wanted to speak? Because I see 3 people, but it's not showing me at all who it is. So I was saying, what was I saying about being different? I was saying about being different.
Yeah, you were saying how the people around you aren't doing so well, and that yeah, and then you were gonna say something else.
Yeah, they're just not doing so well in life. And some people are. There are a few that are doing well, but they used to look at me. Oh, I was talking about the candy.
Candy,
The candy.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to share that. I realized early on, I got that sales tax and use ID number, right? And I was able to walk into stores and buy things wholesale. So now I got this. I start getting candy and I sell the candy. Okay, so wait, before I got the sales tax and use number, there was this guy in the neighborhood. He said, well, do you want to sell this candy? And I said, well, yeah, sure. So I tried it. I sold the candy. And let me tell y'all, he basically wanted to make me his runner. He actually gave me the box of candy. And then when I came back, he said, okay, well, here's all of the money. I said, here's the money from the candy I sold. And literally, y'all, when I tell y'all, he gave me my cut, and it was like $2 or something. I don't even remember. And I said, oh, heck to the no. So children, I want you to hear me say, you got to be smart about the things that you're entering in. If it don't make sense, don't go forward. Whether that's an illegal action, legal, whatever, you got to use your brain. So let me tell you that I sold candy for this guy one time. And then shortly after that, I was able to get my own sales tax use number, and I went into the store and bought my own candy and sold the candy and kept all my profits. I kept all my profits. So you can legally be able to make money. Now, let me tell y'all one more story. Okay, I see you. I see who it is. So it's all right. I can find you guys now and bring you up. Okay, and let me see who else. So I want to tell y'all this other story. So I was selling candy at the time, and my class was going to Africa. This is a real story, y'all. My class was going to Africa, and the teacher said, here, I want y'all to sell this candy from this paper. Y'all remember the candy on the paper, right? You got to sell this candy on the paper. And I was like, listen, why am I going to sell that candy on the paper when I sell real candy and I can make this money? I ain't doing nothing illegal. So I sold my own candy. I'm a rebel, y'all, a little bit, okay? I'm just going to share that. I said I was a little different. I sold my own candy. The teacher saw me selling the candy legally. I came back and I said, here's the money that we need for the trip. I sold the candy, and here's my money for my seat on the plane and my seat, going to Africa. And the teacher was like, no, you had to sell the candy on the paper and you can't go. I couldn't even get a chance to now even go back and sell the candy on the paper. Teacher was like, no. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I knew that I was on a certain path because I was able to make the money myself to pay for the Africa trip back then. That was why I knew that I was going to travel the world. And let me tell y'all something. Since then, I done been in many countries, so many I can't even begin to name right now because I'll be talking for so long. I done been in so many different countries off of my talents. I've used my knowledge, and I've been able to take that, and I was teaching all around the world, y'all. So I need somebody to hear. Just because that teacher said you're not going to Africa don't mean I haven't been to Africa yet. But it don't mean I'm not going to Africa. I done been all around Africa, okay? Let me stop talking and let somebody else talk. I really had to just share that, y'all. I just had to, okay? Because I don't want no job, and I'm not getting a job. I'm going to be an entrepreneur until I die. So somebody else share your story. All right, who do we have on the screen? Thank you for joining.
Hello, my name is Precious. And I just wanted to mention, there's a common theme in your story of taking advantage of your opportunities. Just like when you're in the school and, the different opportunities that were presented to you, you took advantage of those opportunities and you weighed the pros and cons of what they were. And you took the route that was best for you. So everybody doesn't have that ability, and it's just something to think about, especially for the youth, because it's hard to be the one to say no in those moments, and it's hard to do the thing that other people is not doing. However, there is so much reward in following your path and your gut and your instincts, because it'll lead you in the right way every time. With that being said, my name is Precious. I am a life and wellness coach and an herbalist. I have a long story, but I will sum it up. I've been through trauma throughout my life. My life has been a series of traumatic events, which led me ultimately into an abusive relationship, and that led me to incarceration for trying to get out. And the common theme for me, which I started a business because I needed healing. And I realized that through my healing, I didn't understand how to use the gifts that God gave me. I always knew I was supposed to heal people. I always knew that, I was very good. People opened up to me very easily. But I was a martyr because I wanted to save people. I thought that was what a healer was supposed to do. Like, we're supposed to save people. And it didn't matter where I was at in my life. It didn't matter if I had the capacity. I was overextending myself to people regardless. And because I didn't feel like I had the support that I needed, I ended up staying in a situation longer than I was supposed to. And it ultimately cost me my freedom in multiple ways. Now, I'd say I'm redefining all the aspects of myself. I found healing, and in my healing journey, I was also able to, bring people along with me, which ended up, turning into a business, a pocket of sunshine, where I help people with chronic pain, mental and physical. And like, as a kid, I remember like feeling alone all the time. And because of my abandonment issues, and because I was the black sheep in everything, my family, friends, I never felt the need to have to go with the crowd. Eventually, and not having much guidance, but like the little things that I sought out, eventually I felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, everybody else could be thriving together in dysfunction. There must be something wrong with me because I didn't seek that out. Everybody else can, do things that I can't do. Like, I wasn't a good liar. Karma hit me right back, so I didn't lie. Like, it was so many things where it's just like, this isn't me. But then, who am I? And to that, what I would say to youth is seek out community. There are people that are like you out there. You have to seek it out, and you have to understand that she wants to say hello. She's listening as well. You have to understand that there are people that are out there that are willing to help you. I didn't have anybody in my life.
Understand what the rules are to not eat too much snacks.
Exactly, and don't eat too much snacks.
Right.
So you have to understand that there are people out there that are like actually waiting to help you. I didn't understand that because I didn't see that, but there was always one person in my life, thank God. Yes. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Thank you. It was always like one person that was able to. Yes. Okay. There was always one person in my life that was able to be like, oh, well, maybe you should use your words like this. Maybe you should do this. I have this for you. Like, and I took those opportunities because I knew that for me, I didn't know what else to do. And it felt right. And I'm very big on utilizing your intuition. If it doesn't feel right to me, I won't do it. But also utilizing the people around you, because there are so many obstacles against us. Social media likes to show you the glitz and the glam, and everybody is posting up what they got and all these things, but they're not showing you how they got it. And they're not showing you the obstacles that came with it. And they're not showing you how hard it is on them to maintain it. And it's a struggle. Like, we talking about our entrepreneurship, we talking about, our journey, and it's a struggle. And you have to be able and willing to know that whatever that you are doing, and if it is calling you, if it's your passion, if it's something that you are willing to pursue, and it's like, you know, a burning desire, that this is something that you put the energy into, but you also build your community around you, because your friends may not understand it. Every single body is on a different path than you. We're all here to do a different thing, and as you grow, as you're learning, as you're understanding, the more the people around you are not going to understand what you are doing, because it wasn't for them to do. It was for you to do. And I'm just now learning how to not invite people back into my life that were last season. Like, you not go wear them clothes from 1,000 seasons ago. Once you get there, we're not bringing old people back here. You know, you hear the old people talking about back in my day. Like, we not inviting back in my day into our now. We are here in the current, in the present, because a lot of times those people can deter you from your dreams. Those people can come in and be like, well, I know you doing this, but today I want to do that. And that's not even on your life. That's not your life path itinerary. It didn't tell you to do that. It didn't tell you to do that. And that could lead you into the wrong direction. I talked yesterday in a clubhouse room about the difference between obstacles and what's that called? I'm blanking on the word, but there's a difference between obstacles. Okay. There's a difference between obstacles and, you know, things that you create in your own path. So an obstacle is something that is in your way to make you go in a different direction. And that is usually guidance. That is usually like, oh, I don't really feel this way, but I'm trying to do this, but there's something that's stopping me from doing this. I got to pivot. I got to move to a different direction. I got to look at something else. Something else may help me on my way here. No, we're not doing that right now. Thank you, my love.
Okay, maybe when you're done doing it.
Yes, when I'm done. Thank you.
And then you do look around like hair.
Okay. But yeah, and then there's obstacles that you create yourself, which is a part of you not listening to yourself. Because you can always, and this is not for everybody, this takes a muscle. You have to start with one part of you. Let me see if this is right for me. Learn to listen to your gut. Learn to, you can try things out. Learn to try, because everything is not going to be a win. Learn to try so you can build up the muscle to understand that, oh, this is my voice telling me not to do this, and not someone else's voice coming into my head telling me not to do this. This is my voice. And as you build that muscle, you'll be able to know, like, I'm getting in my own way. These obstacles are coming because I didn't listen. These obstacles are in my way because I knew I was supposed to go right, and I took this left, and this left don't look right because you were in your own way. Yeah, with that said, I don't know, I'm just talking right now. With that said, yeah, I created my business, A Pocket of Sunshine, just for this reason too. It started off with a vision journal, which is the vision of yourself. You start with, you know, making your vision board and go all the way into self-reflection, because you can't, you know, have your vision of yourself without, there's always some obstacle in the way. So we want to get those out of the way so you can create the life that you want to live and the person that you want to be. And you can always recreate yourself. You're not just one person. Every time you evolve, you have to start over from ground zero and rebuild that person up. And then, you know, I have a holistic wellness side for your physical body. I created a pain balm that works extremely well. I've created things for their body, and all of this came from trial and error too. I thought my business was going to go in a different direction. I thought that I was like, this would be more of a spiritual brand, but I just said no, this is not where it's supposed to be. And I actually, when you talk about obstacles, somebody stole my products from in my car because I was doing a pop-up. Someone stole my products, and I knew like this was going to be the last of these specific products that I was going to do, but I was going to sell them and then move on my way with my business. And the obstacle said, absolutely not. You're going to stop right now and you're going to recreate what you were doing. And that led to the brand that I have now, which is, prospering and flourishing. And like I said, trust yourself, trust your gut, reach out for help. I have a beautiful community that I created myself with people around me. Everybody is not blood. All my blood cannot come with me. All my blood is not healthy. So creating the family, creating the environment that I wanted to see has been extremely helpful in my growth, in my flourishing, and also going back and recognizing that your pain is valid. I know a lot of times, especially for the youth, we tell them it is what it is. Just get over it. Yeah, you talking about your parents, but this is now. No, you have to understand where your pain comes from, where your pain points are, what happened to you. It's very important to know these things so that you can make the transition and understand your process, how you feel, why you feel the way you feel, and then make the necessary moves to change that.
And that's basically what you just said, summing that last statement is your pain is valid, speak up. Don't think it's just nothing. And parents, vice versa, don't just pretend like the pain they have doesn't mean anything. So that's like for parents and for children both. Everybody, is communication is everything. Communicate. And I love that you said that, because in my own story, my son was bullied. He didn't tell me at first. So everything that happened as a result after that, it was just built up so bad that it was like, what do we do with this ball of mess? So yeah. I appreciate that you shared that, because it relates to even to my own story. And for children, speak up. Parents, pay attention. Everybody just communicate as much as you can. And even for me, I'm going to tell y'all, I did all the things. I put my son in counseling. I was like, I think he needs somebody he could talk to just by himself. I think that's what he needs outside of us as parents. But at the end of the day, you never know how things are going to turn out. But all of what you just said, I love the fact that you said all those things and you built your business off of who you are. And that's what I think someone needs to hear today. And guess what? That's what my stance is. The programs that I run, like, I want to just tell people how to write their course, right? Y'all, and it's like, I want to just say that, but I don't do that, because I understand that who you are as an individual, you're carrying that and you're using a part of you to do what you do in life. So that's why in my program, I can't just be like, oh, just build your course. Let's just do module 1, 2, and 3. What's in module 1, 2, and 3 based upon who you are? So I thank you for building your business based upon all of the pain that you've had. And thank you for listening to your gut. Thank you for pivoting when you needed to pivot to get you to where you are today. So I hope that you guys who are watching and listening, click the arrow at the top. Give Jack a quick follow. Give a Pocket of Sunshine a quick follow as well. And I am CEO Mel is on to speak. So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you so much. If you have any link that you want people, like a site or anything you want them to, to follow you on, let us know or put it in the chat, whatever you want to do.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. All right. So you can stay here so they can give you a quick follow if you like. All right. CEO Mel.
Hi everyone.
Hey. You
First
know
I
what
want
to
to.
do. You know we give you
I
13 minutes
know.
on the clock.
All right. So first I want to say thank you for having me today. I've been listening to each and every one of your story, and I'm just touched by it. Everyone is different, and even with Tamika, she was talking about her son. I'm like, girl, you did your best. You did your best, and at the end of the day, they say you can lead a horse to the fountain, but you can't force them to drink it. And at the end of the day, we got to make our own decisions. Now it's just for you to just be strong, and for him, and when that day comes, you just continue to do your best, which I know you guys are doing. um and we're all strong here. We're in a world where we're living. It's really tough. We have kids. I have two kids, 8-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, and I pray for them every day, as I'm trying to grow them up, trying to lead them on the right path. When I was growing up, I I went to a good high school. I grew up in Jamaica. I came here in my teens, to America. So while I was there, my parents were always there for me. Um, I went to good high school. Went to all girls high school, but I was still faced with temptation. I was faced with friends who wanted to do things that were not the right things, and at the time, I had to decide: am I gonna follow, or am I gonna not follow? Not saying every time I didn't follow. Sometimes you're tempted because you want to fit in. You want to be a part of the cool kids. You want to be liked by everyone else. So you're always, tempted by those things. But um, I had goals, from when I was younger. Growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. I always had the entrepreneurial mindset. My dad, he had his own business. From my growing up, he was doing his own thing. He had a furniture business where he made furniture, redo furniture for people. So I saw him having a business, and that stayed in my head. And I liked how I saw him work day and night, especially around Christmas time. He was working all night just to get people their items before the holiday. So I saw him doing that, and that really stayed with me. Um, and I knew I wanted to do something with business, but I also wanted to teach. I had a passion to also teach, because I remember I was teaching the walls in the back of my yard growing up. I had the passion to teach, and I was still finding a way how to put them together. Um, so I know when I went to high school, I decided that I was gonna go the business route. I did all my subjects in business: accounting, business administration, POB, POA, all of those subjects in high school, because that's the route that I was going to take, because I know I wanted to do something in business. Um, and I was not thinking about being an entrepreneur. What I was really thinking about is going to work for someone, because at the time, I felt like I was not good enough to be an entrepreneur. That's an
Really?
issue that I had. Yes. Or I didn't know how to. I think it's more if I didn't know how to, or maybe I wouldn't be good at it. Or that time I was younger. So at the time I was like, it's just not, I wasn't going to be able to make it. Cause you see all of these, different business people on TV, and you see all that lifestyle, you see all that they do. How am I going to do that? I'm not, to me, it was like, how am I going to get there? I don't think I can ever get there. Anyways, eventually, fast forward, went to college. I did go to school for business, but I still had teaching in the back of my head. After I graduated from college, I was working 9 to 5 in the corporate world. But then I was not happy with it. And I decided that I was going to go teach. And I took the alternate route to get my teaching certification, and I went in the classroom. And I felt like I was where I wanted to be, because I felt like I was like managing my own classroom. Um, and that's where I was like to myself, the corporate was not for me, and I know I wanted to do business. Why not just figure out how to start my own business, figure out what I wanted to do, you know? And I'm saying this to say, and I'm speaking, I know we have kids online today. Kids, do what you want to do. Never say you can't do whatever you want to do, because you can do it. When I look at myself today and where I'm coming from, and when I used to tell myself that I'm not good enough or I can't get there, I'm not where I want to be yet. But I know if I continue to work hard on what I want or where I want to go, one day I'm going to get there. So it's just that, don't give up. You can do it. Don't say you can't. You can do it. And that's to me right now as a parent. My son comes to me sometimes. He tells me he wants to do this, he wants to do that. I'm like, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. And I'll be that support for you to get there. You know, just be successful in your own way. You know, he wants to start a YouTube channel. And honestly, the YouTube channel has not started yet because of me. Because I still have that fear to get in front of the camera. He wants that channel, and I'm like, he asks every day. We started doing content already. I was like, we're gonna do that channel because he wants it. So I'm that's a summer goal that we have, that we're doing together this summer. But it's just that I'm saying to myself, like, every day I think about it, I was like, you can't limit yourself. Just go out there, be fearless. Don't be afraid. Just be bold, just go out there. So kids, you can do whatever you want. Parents, support your kids. Let them know that they're capable of achieving all the goals they want, because eventually they'll get there. So me right now, I have a business. I have a credit repair business. And how I know a lot of times that the teaching is still in me, a lot of times I find that I'm teaching my clients when I'm working with them, because I'm educating them about what they need to do on how to improve their credit. Even if I do the service for them, it's like I'm doing it, but I still want to tell them, or I'm still telling them, once you're finished, once you're out of my program, this is what you need to do. I'm teaching you so that you can be on your own once you're out of my program. So I still feel like I'm still teaching. I'm still teaching, and I still have my business. And like, it's just like, this is my happy place. Like, it's my happy place now, because I'm able to connect the two together, being an entrepreneur and being a teacher. So for me right now, I'm just building on these two passion of mine. I'm still teaching full time. That's something that I'm taking my time to wean out a little bit. People say, okay, they quit their job and they go right into the entrepreneurial world. That's what I want to do, but I guess I'm like trying to set the foundation first before I jump off the bridge. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just really it. That's just my story right here. So it's just like, just find your passion. You have to really know your true self. And since the other day, I've been reading a lot of books, and the storyline in most of the books that I've been reading is basically telling you how to really find your true self. Because once you know who you really are, then that's the way how you're going to be able to go out there and leave that legacy, or leave that leave an impact on someone else. Find your true self. Just like the person who was speaking before me, I forgot her name. She was talking about she used her experience to create her business. That's it right there. She realized where she was going, and she used that, and now she's making an impact on someone else. So again, kids, just go for what you want. Don't limit yourself. Speak about, just try it. Surround yourself with people that can uplift you. You have your parents, go talk to them. If you feel like you can't talk to your parents, find someone else that you can confide in. Because a lot of times it's hard for kids to come to their parents to talk to them. Because sometimes I have to drag it out of my son to get some information, and I might hear it from grandma later on because he feels better telling it to grandma or grandpa. That's how. But because they're kids, they're not okay with coming to their parents. Growing up, a lot of times I wasn't okay to go to my parents to talk to them. So we can understand that. So, but just keep being supportive. Teach them how to be responsible as much as you can, especially being financially responsible. Because as they grow up, they are going to need their finances in good standing to live where they want to live, if they want to get a rent or get a mortgage, or even get a job. because right now jobs are looking at your financial state before they hire you, because they want to make sure that you're responsible. So just teach them responsibility. Start showing them how to save now. Start talking to them about investments. It's never too early to teaching them how to save for later, or teaching them what about investing. It's never too early. You know, if you have a credit card, put them as an authorized user on your credit card. Some credit card companies don't even require an age limit to put them on your credit card, because if you start building their credit from now, when they get to like 18, 19, 20, they're going to already have, you know, good credit standing if you make sure that you maintain those cards that they're using. So just, you know, keep pushing your kids, keep pushing yourself. And we're talking to the kids, but if you're an adult right now and you felt like you weren't good enough, stop telling yourself you're not good enough and just go for it. Just go for it and just keep pushing, because it starts with you and no one else. Everyone around you don't have to support what you do. The drive just has to be in you to meet that goal and to get what you want. So just keep pushing and keep fighting for whatever you want. Just be supportive for your kids and just show them how to move in the right way as much as possible. So that's it for me today. Again, my name is Melanie. I'm the owner of Keys to Success Financial, where I do credit repair. I do offer credit repair services, and I also have a DIY course and ebook. You can go ahead and tap the arrow up top, the drop down the box, and follow me or my business at Keys to Success Financial. Thank you again, Tamika, for having me here, and I'll give you over the floor. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for telling us about the specifics, because in our stories, sometimes we are literally still teaching. And that's the reason why you tell the story. It's because there's something in the story that is going to help someone to get to their next level for real, as long as a person really has their ears open wide enough to hear what you're saying. And you said a lot of things today. And what I wanted to touch on was that you were talking about how a parent doesn't always, basically, in other words, have all the answers. Some of the parents are just doing their very best. So to the parents, as you said, you just, do your best into the child. If you feel like you can't talk to the parent because you realize your parent is trying to do their best and maybe they're not even doing, things the way that it should be done 100%, find someone to talk to. Understand that you have value and that there's something in you that you need to figure out. So children, it might not be your own parent that you're talking to, as she just said. It might be someone that you're going to literally get information from. For me, there was a teacher who showed me there was other areas outside of where I lived, because I saw where the teacher lived. And I was like, wow, I don't have to live like this. My house was clean, but we lived in an apartment. We never had a house. But I saw that you could have a house through the teacher, all of that. So listen, it might be someone else. And parents, it might be you. We don't know. All we know is that everybody has to make sure that you find someone to communicate with, and everybody has to know that you all have value. And parents, if you don't have the answers that you need and you need information, go find the answers for your child. Even for me, I said I need to get a counselor for my child. Maybe he needs to talk to somebody else. Put them in different programs. Find something constructive for them to do so that they are very busy. And Mel says something, because this is her space, but teaching them about financial success. Even one little thing at a time, helping them to understand their money, because it's truly important. My mom put me on her credit card, like you just said. She put me on a credit card before I became a full-fledged adult. So when I walked into adulthood, I had a credit card I could walk with. When I started traveling and flying, I had a card I could swipe automatically. It also allowed me to be able to get other credit cards. Now, I wish I knew more about getting all them credit cards and all of that. I wish I didn't get so many that I ended up cutting up. But anyway, that's another story. But at the end of the day, parents, you can set your children on a good path, So, Mel, thank you so much. All right, let me see who else wanted to come up here. Who is it that's trying to get in? I can't, y'all, Instagram. Okay, all right, I see two people. Okay, so I'm gonna take down a Pocket of Sunshine. I'm gonna take you down, and I'm gonna take Mel down. We got two other. I see who it is, It is Kepler and Orlando that want to come up. So we're gonna. All right, bye guys. All right, and let's get these other two up in here. All right. Let's see if they can join us.
Hi guys,
All right.
how you guys
Hey,
doing?
Kepler.
Are you guys doing well? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you. Great.
We can hear you. All right, so I know you've been watching the Masterclass Marathon, so you know how it works. Today we're being very casual, but we're sharing our information about our businesses, but we're also telling a story about anything that we want to share so that your children understand the path that they can take, because we're all entrepreneurs and we've either dealt with something, gone through something, learned something, but that's what we're doing today. So Kepler, you got the floor. I'll give you 13 minutes on the clock unless you stop before then. All right. Welcome.
Ooh, that's exciting. Thank you so much. That's exciting. So hi everyone. My name is Kipler. I'm from a small town in Haiti called Kotfe, and I currently have a YouTube channel called Build with Kipler. So we build technology, businesses, and cities. So I would just like to talk a little bit about programming and essence, like why you should learn to program. So currently, statistically speaking, only 0.5% of the world can program, that means it's a very small skill set that almost nobody knows how to do. And programming is everywhere. Currently, we're using a product that was built by code. We're actually using a product that is owned by $1 trillion company. And currently, in our time frame, there's $4 trillion companies, and 3 of them are technology based. So they're built primarily through code. So I do really, really think that we should learn how to code. Like, there are trillions of dollars to be made, because with code, you can help millions to billions of people. Like, if you look on the Google Play Store and you check at Facebook, their product has been downloaded 5 billion times. That's a lot. That's almost everyone on earth is using their product. And we all have the ability to do so. Like, getting an app published to the largest marketplace, it's like having Walmart to the internet. Everyone is there. So you are actually able to put a product in front of everyone, and you can monetize it differently. Like, for example, WhatsApp, which is also used a lot, was, for the first 2 years, was only $1 per year. And their exit after 4 years of public creation of the product was for, I believe, $10 billion. So they sold this product for $10 billion. It was their ability to actually serve so many people. So these are like really big reasons, in my opinion, right, to want to code. And I listened to Gary Tan. He's one of my mentors on YouTube. He's a VC, so he manages $200 billion to invest into startups. And he says, one of the favorite quotes I got, you either live under the API or you create the API. So API meaning, like, let's take, for instance, Uber. You can either work for Uber as a restaurant or as a driver or as a customer, or you can own Uber and have millions of people actually using your service, and they're getting so much value that they're willing to pay you back. Because that's the law of success, right? You provide value and people pay you because you're providing so much value. Like, the cash doesn't matter, which is also another really cool mindset that I've been learning, especially from Myron Golden, that sales is a really, really important thing. And we're doing a service to people by giving them the option of buying something from us. Like, if you're sick and somebody has a cancer medicine, like, you want that person to let you know you can buy it. You don't want them to hide it from you. So you don't have to suffer. So, because I had issues with sales, so that allows me to change the mindset, which I think some other people probably have had that experience. It's very technical. So,
You know, Kepler is crazy. I want to tell a little bit of a story, but I don't want to interrupt your presentation. I'm going to share something when you finish, because I
oh, no,
did
go
kind of
ahead.
go through that. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I would love to build off of
All
your
right.
point.
So,
Of course.
when I entered high school, I was going to go into the cosmetology program, and the guidance counselor said, "You're a high honor roll student. We really don't want you to take that hair cosmetology program." And they said, "Well, what else do you want to pick?" And I ended up picking a program that was computer tech, which meant that I went into computer programming slash business. So I took computer programming and business. So what you know, zeros, all the zeros and ones and all these different things, programming for real, I actually took that.
Mm.
So it impacted my life. So I want to share that what you're saying right now, I'm not a full-fledged programmer, but it impacted me. And that's why I am great with technology. So I ended up growing up as a cosmetologist over the years. And with this technology information, I'm able to stack that and use it. So during the pandemic, I actually went to I wanted to do an online conference, and I found a program that somebody built, but it was glitchy. So I said to myself, I can't use this for my conference because it's too glitchy, and they haven't figured it out yet. But because of my programming background, because of me understanding technology, I literally was able to take a website and use a bunch of different links and put all of the knowledge that I had technologically together. And I created my own online conference. So people were able to log in and pick one of 7 classes in every time slot to be able to join. So using that information, I was able to do that during the pandemic. So I just wanted to share that what you're saying right now about this technology thing is valid. You're talking about real programming, but at the end of the day, this is for real stuff. Like there's a space that you're talking about that we need to pay more attention to, because it literally helped me. And I'm glad that somebody told me, oh, I don't want you to take that program. So I didn't take it right away. I took the
Yeah.
other program. And when I graduated high school, I went back for the hair program. So thank you for sharing that. So I don't know how you want to build on my story, but I had to say that
Um,
because, yeah, the technology world is real.
yeah, that's actually, yeah, to build off of that story, thank you for sharing because that's really good. That's really important. Is like she said, you don't necessarily have to program because I want to program. That's the way I want to create products. That being said, it's also being a big part of programming is being able to use Google to ask the right questions about how to find solutions. It's like Tamika did. Like she had to Google these things, right? She does have the background in programming because it's a logical thing, right? It's just logic. Because at the end of the day, it's just you tell the computer if this is this thing, you do this thing. It's nothing. It sounds complicated sometimes, but when you practice it, just like everything else sounds complicated until you practice. Like speaking Mandarin sounds very difficult, yet there's hundreds of millions of children that are doing it at 4 years old. So it's not that hard. It just seems hard because we're not doing it. So programming is the exact same thing. I think of it as painting or problem solving. So either those two things. Either you're problem solving for something, like if you're pivoting your business, having ebooks, for example, that is done. Coding allows it to happen. Right now, we can distribute these things to people without a cost of creating this product. You don't have the cost of actually shipping it, and is the fastest way to ship it. It can take seconds for you to ship a product, and that's amazing. It doesn't take, taking a ship, back in the day, you would take a ship and it'll take weeks to get to a certain country. So now you can do it instantaneously from one place to the other. It's really, really amazing.
Kaplay,
Oh,
you have a question. I have an
okay, yeah.
autistic child, and I would love to encourage him to do some technology related courses. Which one would you recommend?
Okay. Ooh, that's a great question. For courses, what I would recommend is to figure out like what you would want, what the kid wants to build. So if he wants to build apps, and then to be completely honest with you, just using YouTube tutorials, because that's a lot of what I learned originally was from YouTube. I did have a high school course. Most of my knowledge has been directly from YouTube tutorials. So I can DM you. If you DM me, I'll find some some courses that I really enjoyed. I could help because I'm working right now on helping people to create apps. That being said, they do need to have some kind of programming knowledge. So, but yes, I'll send DM me and I'll send you some videos relating to building stuff. I also have a YouTube channel so you can see the how I build certain products, like the thought process, the designing, and the actual programming. Oh, there's a story I wanted to share because I thought it was, and it's what made me realize I do want to do startups. So startups as are like, think of startups, successful startups as things like Snapchat, products that are technology based, well, tech startups, they're technology based, and the goal is to grow as fast as possible. I had the opportunity of attending a, what's it called? I forgot the exact name, and it was a, we had a weekend to create a startup, so we had to validate the product and present it to the judges. And I had a team. I presented the idea. It was called Green Books at the time. It was for students to buy, which we're actually building to buy and sell textbooks. And we presented, we're a team of 4. We placed third. And I was very tight because that was the first time in my life I felt super competitive. I was like, yo, we're supposed to place first. Like, I don't understand why we did not place first. Being in that room, though, allowed me to, I was one of the judges because we had 3 judges. One of them, he was the CEO of a company that had $300 million in investment annually. So now, instead of thinking, oh, like if I work at Google, if I go to college, I learn, I get this degree, I can work at Google and make 300,000, which I thought was a lot of money. I was sitting across this guy who saw $300 million. And he validated that. He's like, you're smart enough to create something that's valuable. So that changed what I believed I could do because of being in that room and actually having my friend invite me to be in this competition. Like, these 2 things just made it seem like, wow, I love this. I love being in front of computers. Like, if I could be in front of a computer and just in front of a computer, low-key sometimes be like, yeah, I would do that. But sometimes I'm like, oh, my life is kind of passing by in a sense. But it's some sacrifices, right? You have to decide what it is that you want to do. That being said, yeah, like being in that environment, and one of the ladies, one of the judges, she she lowered our score, and it was for the worst reason because she invested in a company that was similar. I thought that should increase our score. I'm just slightly tight about that.
He's still mad.
Flashbacks.
Yeah,
How long ago was this?
I was like
He's still
4 years. Yeah, it was 4
How
years
old
ago.
was you?
He's still
How
mad.
old was you?
Yeah, it was so tight. But it's okay. We'll succeed. We'll succeed. We'll show you.
Yeah.
But that's the fun thing. So that was like, I was like, okay, I really like computers and I really like money. Like, we had an exercise on the morning meetup, which you guys should definitely check out for entrepreneurship. And it was asking, like, one of the questions was like, why are you doing entrepreneurship? And for me, I'm doing it for monetary reasons. Like, that's just like the truth of it. I'm doing it for like money and power. Like, those are 2 things I really, really require to do some dreams. Because I'm from Haiti. We're currently classed as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And I don't want that to continue. It's been going on for a long time. There's no need for that. Like, I've learned, which is also a really good thing to read books. Like, Singapore had the same situation. In 30 years, they changed that around. Their annual income per citizen was 3,000. And after 30 years, like 50,000 per person. So there's already people that have done it. So it's not as hard anymore. Because if it was just before the first person, like we were the first person to actually succeed from slavery, right? Like, we're the first person. So that was more difficult. So if we're able to do something so difficult that no one else has ever done before or after our revolution, then we can do this easy thing that China did, that South Korea did, that Singapore did. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's Tom right there. But I want to say something to something you just said. It seemed like when you began to talk about, I'm doing this, yes, for monetary reasons, it kind of seemed like there was something in it, like you kind of felt bad that you had to say that it was about money. And
Yeah.
I want to tell you and anybody else that's listening, if the kids are still here, hear me well. Never feel bad that you want, desire, and know that you're supposed to deserve the money. The money comes with the fact that you are smart, that you have a talent, or you have a skill, or you've done the work to deserve the money. You're not supposed to be on this earth just to do everything for free. And most people that just do things for free have gotten to a point where money doesn't matter. They've built up the skill of collecting money to the point where they've got so much money that they can just give it away. That's my goal. I'm working towards having so much money that I can give it away. Yeah. And guess what? At times I do that now. I'm not where I am going to be in a very near future. But when I can give something away, I do. It might come in the form of $1. It might come in the form of some other help. But literally, like, making money is nothing wrong with it. And that's what people try to make me believe, like, oh, I was told too. Oh, well, why are you still doing more? Aren't you good? What else do you want? I want it all. How about that? Because we can have it all.
Yes.
I want money. I want money to not matter even for a second.
You
Some
want
people,
so much
relationships fall down because money is a problem. And one of the things I did in my relationship, so that I didn't want money to be an issue. Now I'm divorced, but it ain't because of money. We had things where we said, listen, we had talks. We're going to sit down. We're going to look at all of these bills. And we're going to see how much it costs. And then we're going to split it down the middle. I know some people don't like doing that. But to me, that was safe. Because we both put in 50-50. You put in for yours, I put in for mine, and then we do whatever else we do in this household for each other or whatever. But these bills are going to get paid because we're not going to think about, did you pay it or did you pay it? It's a system of getting it done. So if you handle it that way, then you're good. Now, maybe my next man, he going to pay for everything, and it ain't going to matter. I'm going to be like, oh, just look, you got it. But I have to know that I can handle it too. So I personally just can't have somebody just doing stuff and I'm not able to take care of myself. Now I believe that that's what my next man is going to have. I'm telling y'all, he going to be like, girl, I got you on everything. And I'm going to be like, and if he ever walk out, I got all of what he gave me and more in my own account as well. Yeah.
Wait. I wanted to add something about the money comments. Because you're right. Sometimes I do feel a certain type of way because we've been conditioned like money is evil. So occasionally what I remind myself is that I look into the wealth that was stolen from Haiti, like from the labor of the people, and I'm like, okay, like we for hundreds of years were the ones providing a lot of revenue to Europe. Like France's, like I believe it was like a quarter of France's revenue was from Haiti. We produced all the coffee in the world. So the world became addicted to coffee because of us. They became addicted to sugar, which currently almost everyone in the world consumes sugar, which has led to a problem of obesity. And all of that was from Haitian labor, which was stolen. So us seeking wealth is us getting back what is owed to us. Because if reparations aren't going to happen, we can just generate more wealth. Because fortunately, we fought, like our ancestors fought. And so we have to continue to fight. So our children don't even have to worry about poverty.
So y'all the reason why I'm drinking this cup of tea this morning with all this shit.
Listen, y'all. But like, this is all real talk, and I love the conversation that we're having because I'm telling you, like Kipler said, we were conditioned that money was like, if you're brought up in spaces where there's not a lot of money, you are automatically conditioned that people that have money, they're evil, they do crazy things. It's not worth it to go for it because some people feel like even if you get it, you're going to lose it, or just so many different things. And I'm just so grateful. That's why I was like, we got to talk to the kids, because I had people and things in my life that helped me to shape my mind to understand that this space where I'm living when I was a teenager was not where I was meant to stay. When I was 19, the first chance I got, this is what my mother told me, because I wanted to, do cosmetology. And I didn't do it in high school like I could have. So I did it as soon as I graduated. I was 18. I did it till I was 19. And then my mom said to me, go to school and learn whatever you want to learn. Get whatever education you want to have. And she said, and then you start your life. So you get your education, you stay here as long as you need to. while you're doing that, so that when you build your life, all you're doing is getting ready to go into your life. She didn't want me to be worried about being in school and trying to pay for bills and all these other things. She said, stay right here. So cosmetology school, I went for, and I went in less than 10 months, y'all. Because I'm going to tell y'all. Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question, Mika. Did you get more to education in school, or did you get more education when you was out of school?
Absolutely out of school. Life is where most of the information is going to come. Life is where it's going to come.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, even the life that I lived when I was growing up in Newark, I learned a lot there. And the streets will teach you a lot of things, so it's just a matter of what you do with what you learn. The streets will to teach you how to talk and communicate with people. They really will, because body language is everything. Because as soon as you see somebody moving back, they're about to punch you in the face. So are you going to stand there and wait till they punch you, or are you going to hit them first, or are you going to leave? Like, you gotta understand body language.
Or they do this.
I'm telling you, body language, even in the business world, is helpful. You better look at how they behaving.
Or they do this. So you see that movement? We better go this way.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot to know. Yeah.
So I didn't know you was from New York. Oh, you right over there.
I don't like telling people that. I'm not gonna lie. And people say, "Oh, you shouldn't." Well, listen, I'm not hiding it, but I don't just wake up and say it every day. But it's the truth. And like I said, the first chance I had, I got out of there. I just did. Like, I mean, y'all can keep the place. Y'all can have it. I don't know.
No, but at least, I didn't know you was right over the bridge. So we can folk for real.
Yeah. So that's the thing, guys. Through our stories, we get to learn more about each other, and you never know how you are connected to a person through their actual story, because this is what people should know. And I think A Pocket of Sunshine said this. Social media, whoever said, or Mel, social media, you get to see what people show you. If I never tell you where I'm from, or what's going on with my child, or any other situation, you only see what I show up with. So you can't believe everything on social media. Now, I'm not in any way any kind of fluff, but people share what they want to share. So now people are living off of what they see, believing that they should do things based on what they see, and it's a lot deeper than what it really looks like. It really is. Orlando, you want to go? So all right, we're going to give you your 13 minutes on the clock. I mean, we're sharing stories today. You guys are watching right now. You are here at the Masterclass Marathon, and we kind of changed up the rhythm a little bit today. We're talking about the businesses that we're in, and why we decided to do what we're doing, how we do it, a little bit of like just our life. And we're talking to the kids today to help the kids to understand how they can be shaped and what they should do so that they can have a really good life. All right, Orlando, whatever you want to share. 13 minutes on the clock.
Okay. Kids, how y'all doing today? My name is Orlando Acosta. Number one, you could be whatever you want to be. Don't ever let nobody tell you nothing different. Even if your parents say, because they are completely wrong. If they tell you you can't be something that you want to be, because you could be whatever you want to be. I'm disabled. I walk on crutches, wheelchair. People said I couldn't be alive and everything like that. And for years and years and years and years, I believed it. Whatever somebody told me, I believed it. And okay, that's my DJ in the background, but
no,
anyway.
that's a phone ringing. I'm now muted.
But anyway, like I said, anybody told me anything, I believed it and whatnot. I used to get picked on from the age of 5 to, what was it, about 12. all through my school year. Every day. Every day. Got jumped up, got beat up multiple times and whatnot. Was told that I wasn't going to amount to much. Told my mom once I was disabled to put me in a home and whatnot. So people, I got labeled, multiple labels, and every day of my life, is a constant aspect of proving myself to individuals and just to society. But what I realized over multiple 50 years of my life, that it doesn't matter what they say. It does not matter what nobody say. You're going to have people that like you. You're going to have people that don't like you. Who cares? Who cares? It's about what you make your life, what you want your life to be. And only you can determine that. You're going to have a bunch of haters all the time. Nobody's ever going to like you all the time and whatnot. But I take that in there. I take that in and I use it to my advantage to be successful. I eliminate your parents' mortgage. That big old bill that you sit there and see them holding their head down, saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? I relieve stress. So when I was a kid, they would put the stress on me. Now I relieve it by taking documents, paperwork, and legally going in courtrooms and getting rid of. You can just, if you know basketball, you can just call me the Michael Jordan of mortgages. That's it. But the whole aspect is that I want to take a kid and I want to teach you what I know. So anybody on this live that want me to teach their children how to eliminate a mortgage, I will show them how to do it. No calls, no charge, no nothing. For a year, I'll teach them everything I know. For absolutely free. Because I know people will say things. And I know people snicker and laugh and joke and say what you can't achieve. Don't listen to none. Because they want to be you because they know that you can do a whole lot. And they're trying to crush that dream. Don't ever stop dreaming. Don't ever stop dreaming. Dreams will get you to success faster than an education will. Because your education will become life. It's not no amount of books. Because why? Because ask yourself this when you go to school Monday. Why y'all never teach us about money? Why you never teach us about accounting? Why is the school not teaching this curriculum, but we got to deal with money every day? Your money is, and I know we talking about money, but now I want you to really go to your computers, go to your smartphone, and I want you to pull up this. How much is a Federal Reserve note? How much is $100 bill to print? to manufacture. And I want you to go find out the true essence of what the Federal Reserve notes are really, how much they really cost. I'm going to give you one. A $20 bill is 13.3 cents to print. So when you now, yes, we use the Federal Reserve note. But what I want you to do is, I don't want your emotion caught up in it. Because on our streets and in our neighborhood, especially melanated neighborhood, we're dying over this. Because we want to rob people, we want to argue, I need that. Yes, we need money, but we don't need to kill for it. So what I'm saying to you is this: value the money, but understand that the Federal Reserve note that you crave so bad is not as valuable as you think it is. Use it. Use it for your everyday life. Yes, nobody's saying don't use it, but don't tie your emotion into it. It's a tool for use that should be non-emotional and whatnot like that. Because when you see that it's not as valuable as you, now I mean, then your business can even expand further, and it can expand in a much more structural way, where in decisive way. And then you start thinking, well, how is this getting paid if this is only 13 cents? But the bill is saying $20, but it's only saying 13 cents to print it. So I want you to think that. So this is where I'm going to challenge your mind while I'm teaching you how to eliminate a mortgage. I'm going to be challenging your mind to look at money a whole lot differently than what you've been told. Because I want you to use the money as a tool, but I want to take your emotion out of the money. That's a whole different way, because rich people are not emotional about money. They're strategic about money, but their emotion is nowhere caught up in money at all. So for a year, I will teach any child that's willing to learn this absolutely free. We could do Zoom, whatever, and everything. They could ask me questions, all that stuff. We could deep dive into it as much as they want to. And I've been told Tamika this a long time ago. When she first came up with this, I was on board as soon as I heard it. Like, yo. Because I used to be homeless. And eating out of trash can. So I know what it is. I know what it is to get picked on every day of my life. So you're not alone. You're not, you're not in some secret situation by yourself. It's just people make you feel that way. But it's not true. Because right now, I'm sitting on the floor. Why? Because I can't stand. Because for whatever reason, God put me in this situation because I was born, the umbilical cord got wrapped around my throat. almost died in my mother. They cut the umbilical cord and whatnot, but like 30 minutes of my brain didn't get no oxygen. So it slowed my thought process down a lot. But I keep going, keep doing what I need to do and whatnot. And sometimes, everything doesn't come to me just like that. It comes to me over time. But in law, it comes to me fast. For whatever reason, when I'm doing some law stuff, it comes quick. Anything else, it's like, we gonna hold off on that for whatever reason. But don't get me in no courtroom. I'm good. And don't get me to look at no contract. I'm good at that as well. But but just to let you know, you're not by yourself. And I appreciate Tamika letting me come on, because I was like, yo, I can't find the link. I'm trying to sign up. So I was like, and she's very particular on, you must sign up. So I was like, uh-oh, I ain't signed up, but I knew I wanted to be on. So I was like, I DM'd her like, yo, can I come on? With that, I'm done. I'm just playing. But anyway, I appreciate Mika for letting me speak. And, anybody that want to DM me, they can DM me.
Oh, we appreciate you too, Orlando. That was very touching. Thank you for sharing. As I put in the chat, thank you for sharing your story. Like, people see people and they don't know the full story. You don't know where any of what you're looking at, where it came from. You don't know the why. You don't know all of those things. But it was great to hear your story in its entirety, and I'm sure there's more. But thank you for also being willing to give your information to a young one. And there were several people who were here in the chat that were asking questions. So if you guys don't mind, DM Orlando those questions. He is the mortgage eliminator, and you can click the arrow at the top, and you can actually go ahead and give him a quick follow, and then start DMing and asking your questions, because they've scrolled up the screen. So Orlando, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so generous. Tell us about the business that you offer on a day-to-day basis, and then I want to jump in and speak about something you said. What's the business?
Okay. The business is I eliminate your 30-year mortgage. I wipe away the stress, the worry, all that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can get rid of your mortgage. It is possible, and it's legal. so by all means, DM me. We could talk about it, and I enjoy the space every time. Every time Mika invites me up, I'm 100% there. Because this is about to be the biggest platform I predict in the next year.
Yeah. We all say so too. Thank you for stating that, Orlando. Thank you. Yes. So let me share something. I want to share a little story in regards to what Orlando said. Orlando said something about money. You said something about people killing for money. And I want to share why I do what I do and how I kind of got here, a little piece of it. So when I was a teenager, I was walking down the street, down the streets of Newark. I was literally in downtown Newark in the middle of a crowd of people. I was walking down the street and I was robbed in broad daylight. Literally robbed in broad daylight. I'm walking down the street, people are all around me, and someone just grabbed all the chains on my neck and just grabbed I had 3 of them. They grabbed them all and started running. And I want to share with y'all the anger that I had inside my body. Like, y'all see who I am. You see what kind of person I am, a happy-go-lucky, love helping the world. I'm just here, I'm smiling as much as I can. But when that person robbed me, I almost I turned into something else for a moment. And I just came out the beauty supply store because I was doing hair at the time. And I came out the store and I had a can of oil sheen. And I took that can of oil sheen and it was just kind of like a Chinese movie. It was like, boop, 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 boop. I threw threw that can of oil sheen, boop, hit him in the back of his head. I'm not violent, but I had to do something. The guy got hit in the back of the head with the can of oil sheen and continued running. Never saw him again. So now I got to call the police. They come, they take me to the precinct, y'all, and they have me sit there and look through books. Y'all see this in movies. Y'all see this in movies. They have me sit through books, and you go like this. Is this the person? No, no, no. And after 2 hours of looking at the pages, I think that's him. No, no. I think that could be him. You don't even, it's like your brain is all distorted. But what I want to share with you about this story is that the environment that I was living in, the things that people did, they get rubbed off on you. So I became so angry in that moment that if that guy was close to me, I don't know what I would have done to him. I don't know what kind of bad things I would have done to him because he ripped the chains off of my neck that didn't belong to him. So what I knew was, guys, I knew at that moment in time, first chance I get out of this environment, I can't stay here. Because the things that are going on in this environment will end up rubbing off on me. Someone's going to do something and it's going to rub off on me. And later on, right after that, maybe another year later, something else did happen. That's another story I could tell y'all at another time. Something that carried on for a long time. Not good. The environment that you live in, if people behave a certain way, you can't change everybody in it. You can only control yourself. So now you got to ask yourself the question, am I going to stay here? Or am I going to go somewhere where I know that this is the life that I'm supposed to live? This is the place I'm supposed to be in. This is the type of environment where people say hello. I moved out of New Jersey, and I was 19 years old. I moved out of New Jersey, and I moved to North Carolina, and people were speaking to me. Because of the environment that I grew up in, they were talking to me, and I'm like, what do they want? This was how I was behaving. And I'm saying to children right now, if you're in an environment, even if your parents got you there and they're doing their best, you don't have to stay there. Hear me when I tell you, you have the ability to control pieces of your future. And maybe you can't do much about it now, but you have the ability at some point in time to take control of that in a legal manner. So where does all of this come from? It came from the environment I grew up in. But I was wise enough to learn that I didn't have to do what other people did, and that as soon as I could get out, that I would. So I need somebody to hear that. And then I was able to see that there are other environments. One of the other things about being born and raised in Newark was I remember looking at the ground, and I remember looking at all the trash. And I was saying to myself, why is there so much trash on the ground? I know that they clean the grounds every day, but why is there so much trash? It's because people were conditioned to just throw something on the ground because it's the norm. But see, when you go to another neighborhood, you just don't do that. Like where I live right now, they clean up like every 5 times a day. And nobody don't throw stuff on the ground. They just don't. Because the environment is conducive of people making sure they take the trash all the way to a trash can. That they're cleaning everybody's cleaning. So listen, we got choices. You could stay there. And yes, you can by all means be the activist if you want. And you can try and fix things and you can go for that. And if you want to fix it, fix it. And you can stay and fix it or you can leave and fix it. Whatever you choose. But you got the right to have the life that you deserve. Mm-hmm. And if anybody feel bad and think I'm, saying something wrong for leaving, that's your brain. I decided what I needed to do. So I just wanted to share that because I was wise enough to realize that money rules the world. And the way to literally change your life and the things in it is to obtain more money so that you have so much money that money doesn't matter.
And can I piggyback off of something you were saying?
Go ahead.
Okay. When she said you could be an advocate and stay there and try to fix it, I was an advocate for 12 years. Even when I was home, I would go to the schools every day. Every meeting they had, I was the #1 advocate. I wrote legislation bill. Parents think that you got to have legislatures write bills. No, you can write the bill. Because I wrote them. I wrote them. Now, I mean, how much money should have been in the budget, what was needed in the budget. Some of the politicians came to me to get the legislation. After they found out I wrote the legislation. So a lot of your politicians go to the advocates to get the information. But she's right. What I found out, 12 years of advocacy work, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of politicians don't give a damn about fixing the environment because they're making paychecks off of it. By it being a mess, they want it to be a mess so they could still have something to campaign about. I want to keep it 100. Now, a lot of people don't like to hear it. I'm just going to keep it 100. I don't mean no disrespect, but that's what it is. And whatnot. So she's right. You can't advocate yourself to a better, successful life. You got to get out and work it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm glad that you said that. And people could take however, I chose to do it. You could take it how you want to take it. But I'm glad that you said that. And we all got decisions to make. So, yeah, thank you, Orlando, for that. So, yeah, listen, this has been amazing. I thank you all for joining today. Please save this. This live is going to be saved. And if you have children, let them just go back and watch it. Come right back to the page. It's under the series of the Masterclass Marathon right here on this page. All you have to do is click the series. And right now in the series, I think there's like 20 some odd sessions of the Masterclass Marathon, and you can just go through and binge watch. We're here on Saturday at 12 and Sundays at 7. And we're here to share information with you that you need to know, and some things you didn't even know that you needed to know. We do 13-minute masterclasses, and we also have 2 minutes to say how we can be found and what we also have to offer. Today, we switched it up a little bit to share tactics about business, as well as talking to the kids to help them to understand that they can make certain choices, and we're all entrepreneurs. We've made a choice to be here, and it is a beautiful place to be as an entrepreneur. I've only had 2 jobs in my life, and the jobs that I've had, when they gave me the paycheck and I looked at it, I was trying to understand how it didn't match up to the things that I was doing on my own as an entrepreneur. Even when I was a young girl, I did 1 head of hair, and then I went to go and work this job for a week and a half to 2 weeks, and the paycheck that they gave me was about what it took me to make on 1 head, and I didn't have to leave and go anywhere to do that, and this was about 2 weeks of work. So it just didn't add up, and that was how I began to see life. So that's how I land where I am today, and a lot of us are in this space because we understand that there is no cap on our head. When we are entrepreneurs, we have the ability to make as much as we want, as long as we use the information that we gather every day, and we make the right connections, and we also have the right goals that we're reaching for. Everybody has to have goals. If you're not reaching for something, you can just literally just get anything. If you don't reach for something, you get whatever comes your way. And that is just the truth, because you have to be focused on something. And even when you don't know what to focus on, begin to read books and then watch people's success stories and look at people who've gotten to somewhere and made something of themselves and see how they got there, to see if your story matches up with theirs, because that's usually how you figure out how you can move forward, because you identify with something. That's how it goes. And that's why I wanted us to tell our stories today.
And can you please share this with me on my page, because I want to blow this up. I want to make sure,
Yes.
Thank you for letting me.
Thank you, Orlando. I will. I'm going to tag you. All right, guys. This will also be on my YouTube channel. Once we load it in, it'll be on Entrepreneur Speak with Tamika James, so you can watch it there as well. So I thank you all for joining. I thank those of you who came up to speak. I thank those of you who were watching from beginning to end. I thank those of you who came in halfway and also shared this out with other people. And it's still not too late to share this out. This live was all about talking to the kids. Tomorrow is dedicated to that as well. We have different speakers coming on tomorrow. So join us again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you and smooches to all of you. You guys have an amazing weekend or night or whatever. Bye, guys. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Orlando. Bye now.
Bye, see.